We're talking about Goonism.
Yes, Goonism.
And youth employment.
Yes.
And I was asking, what's your thought on Goonism? Like using youth for political personal gains or political personal fights.
When you speak of Goonism, everybody goes to, it's the politician's fault. But I think it's everybody's fault. As a society, we have allowed this culture to prevail. Yes, politicians are to be blamed. And also the goons themselves, who are our children, are also to be blamed for allowing themselves to be used for this. But then again, why is there a need for goons in political events to run politics in our country?
Don't you think, let me ask this, don't you think that the politicians have boxed these people into that position, that they think that I don't have any option if I want to make money. I don't have any option than to enter into this Goonism, because unemployment is there. But there's another thing to, like, there's no job anywhere.
Yeah.
And Goonism is the new trend. If I join, I become relevant to a politician. I become scary to them. So they either use me or I fight against them.
Yeah.
Don't you think that it's something that the politicians have psychologically created as well for the youth, and then even the people, like you said, more than the youth, to feel that way, to have no choice and to fall there?
I agree with you. Yes, our politicians have boxed our people into thinking that there's no any other alternative, there's no way out, unless you either will sit and wait for handouts or you wait for direction from us. So that mentality, first of all, has led them to wanting quick fixes, which is where you get the small bucks. And I'm telling you, if you see the amount of money that is being exchanged for somebody to go and ruin somebody's property or destroy somebody's event or even hurt somebody else, and this person you're hurting is someone you know. One thing I always want people to understand is that, especially with this Goonism, these people you're sent to hurt or to harm, you realize you're going to be left there with them. These politicians don't live there. They will go back to their homes unharmed, police protection, everything. You will be left there. Yesterday you threw a stone at your friend's, at your neighbor's car. You threw a stone at your neighbor's business. You hurt somebody's child. For what reason? For something small. Yes, they are boxed into those positions. One, by making sure that they don't get any meaningful employment, so that anytime they're needed, it is just to buzz, pick up the phone, call, or whichever way they communicate, and they're there at your service. When you sit down and engage some of these alleged youths, alleged goons, you hear words or conversations like, they use us, and then when they're done with us, they dump us. But you allow them. Now you know that. So why are you still going back to do the very thing that you've been complaining about, that you're being used and you're being dumped? You're being used, and then after they get what they need, they don't have any use for you anymore. So yes, they are boxed into that position mentally, but they allow it to continue. And before saying, we will take our power back, we'll take our country back, we'll change and fix these non-performing politicians, the youth should also take their power back. When you're called to go and destroy those engagements where people are sitting to discuss on ways how to charter our country forward, why would you want to destroy something that is supposed to be a part of helping you come out of those situations that are making you be boxed into that cocoon where you're only retrieved when needed and sent back when you're not needed? Why would you go and destroy that? Why don't you want to be a part of those conversations? So again, it's two-way. Our children need to stop accepting these offers. They're very short-lived, very sweet in that moment, and that's it. And then the rest of the years, we start having demos, we start complaining. It won't help anyone. Sure. politicians, we need to have genuine goodwill, seriously, to want to help our, not just our youth, our people in general, because these youth who are unemployed, who are being used as goons, they belong to parents. So this is not just a problem for the youth. This unemployment issue is not just for our children. The mothers are feeling it. The fathers are feeling it. You're creating burdens in homes where you're supposed to be eradicating poverty and eradicating these problems, but you're actually compounding on the problem. So it's that's why I say it's everybody. Everybody has a part to play in this Goonism culture. And it starts with, first of all, our parents saying no to our politicians who are involved or alleged to be involved in Goonism. Our youth saying no when you're called upon to come and collect something small to go and destroy somebody else's forum. Let them say what they're saying. You see, I wish would apply, how do I put it? I don't want to say economic Goonism because I don't know if there's such a thing, but it should be, we should be destroying it, not destroying, but we should be engaging each other on policies, on issues that affect us directly, not physically. It doesn't help anyone to not allow the next person to be heard. Everybody has right to information, to listen, and to share. You choose to agree or disagree. It can be peaceful. It can be very amicable. There's no need to fight. We are slightly under a year to elections. The country is very highly charged right now. And people should exercise political tolerance. After politics, there's life. Life goes on after politics. Whoever is in power right now, in the next decade or two, it's going to be other people, very new, different people. Life goes on. So there's no need of fighting or dying for someone, and they will never do the same for you. And what you're even fighting for does not even make sense. What are you fighting for? You, when you're asked why are you picking a stone to throw at somebody else's car? How does that change your life? Will you be able to sleep better at night?
True.
No.
So my next question is, when you see this new when people are entering into politics the first time, they are told this is how we do things here. So they are boxed into behaving the same way as the old people. So the Goonism culture continues. So how would these new people avoid this trap of this is how things are done? We use goons to fight our battles. We use this to do our things. How do we do all those things?
We have seen a lot of things change in our Kenyan politics. A lot has changed. I can tell you for sure that the way politics is being done right now in our country is not the way it was done before. Okay? And I know there's hope in things changing. But now the new faces that are coming up, I'm happy to say majority are our youth who are very literate. So I'm banking on them taking up their civic education very seriously. I like it now when I see young people engaging in conversations to do with politics, what's happening around us, our everyday life. You hear the finance bill. You're not just mentioning and saying, we don't want it, or let them pass it. No, they know exactly what it entails. They know how it affects them. They know how to dissect it. I love that. When I see that online, people engaging on such levels, it gives me hope. And I know for a fact that the new crop of politicians that are coming up, me being one of them, I do believe that there's going to be change, and change for the better. Even in my call to have this Goonism thing completely be eradicated, I do feel if the youth or the young people or the new crop of politicians that are coming up are speaking to their own on what not to do, it's easy for them to listen than being told by the older generation, but this is what you people did. This is how it's done, so we have to continue with that. No, we have seen that. The one thing I appreciate about the younger generation there are pros and cons of the stereotype perception of who they are. Very inquisitive, rebellious, and all that. Yeah, if applied well, it works. And this is a time to rebel this politics of Goonism. This is where now we need your rebellion to show up. You need to say, no, we're not going to fight. We're not going to disrupt important events. We're not going to disrupt spaces where people are talking on issues to change our lives. So this is where it should apply. For the new crop of politicians, their contributions to try and de-escalate this culture of Goonism, like I said, talk to your peers. Majority of these young people are literate. Majority are graduates, not just high school leavers. We have a lot of graduates out there. Just say there's unemployment and people are just trying to survive. But besides that, engage actively in politics, not just rhetoric. We just sit in small barazas or small spaces and just talk and everybody goes home. No, actively be involved. What we say we will do, let's do that. Let's create opportunities for ourselves. What we have learned, how can we translate it? I know it sounds cliche, but I say it, they're literate. Our youths are literate. They're learned. What they need to do is just to be taught how to convert that skill that they have learned, to convert that degree or whatever skill it is that they have into money. And that's the kind of leadership we're lacking. And that's the kind of leadership that needs to step up right now. We spoke earlier. Politicians boxing our young ones into a space where they can be able to control them. Now, our young ones are conversant with what is happening. And I'm happy that our 2010 constitution was promulgated just recently. Most of them already born and in existence. I was born and found what was there before. Now, they're reading and they understand what it says. So let's apply. Let's apply where it matters. Let young people go for these positions. And if you go around and check online, the new entrants for the various positions around the country, it's across. There are so many young people who've come forth. Now, being told that this is how things are done and let's stick to doing this, if I've met that, I can tell you for free, I've experienced that when when I started, and I was just doing empowerment. There's no point where I say that here I am. I offer myself, this is what I want. I've not done that yet publicly, but it's out there. And now in my empowerment rounds, I have met that. Here, this is how things are done. I do not dispute that. When you go to Rome, do as Romans do. Yeah. But also when you want change, do we still keep doing the same thing? Something has to apply. Something has to change, right? So I'm not saying let's eradicate and do away with how you people do things or how things are done. No, I'm just saying let's introduce bits and pieces where we've all sat and agreed together as a people, as a community. Let's agree. So we've been doing this way. Has it been working or not? What do you think needs to change? These are the conversations we need to have. And these are the spaces where we are creating to have these conversations with you. Yes, we want to speak and be able to reach to a huge number of you guys. But now we have the rallies. Rallies nowadays have been reduced to chanting and slogans and insults. They're not meeting the purpose that they were intended for. But when you have these people who are your electorate, who are your community people, you sit and you agree. What needs to change? What do we maintain? What do we change? Now you, as a youth who's not been in employment, somebody comes and tasks you to go and destroy that very gathering that's supposed to be discussing how your life needs to change. And these goods don't come from far. They are from within there because you're supposed to know who you're going for. If you come from far, then you don't know who you're dealing with. So you are being tasked to go and destroy that which is coming to help your own community. Now, how are you helping people? Then you'll turn around after you've elected these people into office, and what are you going to go and do? Start asking them for help. What do? Yeah, goons for since. Show me one goon that's really really doing very well from that particular job. Because the idea is not to empower you. Nobody's here to empower you through Goonism. It's to empower themselves. So the selfishness of politicians needs to stop. You go to use other people's children to go and cause chaos. Where are your kids? Where are you hiding your children? Let them be on the front line to go and do that. So young people, please, when people are being asked, when you're being approached to go and cause this chaos, attend those events and listen like every other electorate. That's for me, that would be what I would say. This thing of, this is how things are done, things can change. We're not saying change everything completely, but let's introduce small bits and pieces of change. Let's see what can work, we maintain, or we add a little bit. What doesn't work, we disregard, we eradicate it, and we introduce something that will work. It's the only way we can improve. We cannot be at the same place, at the same position, year in, year out, and nobody finds a problem.
So you said something. You said that we can't change everything, but we can start. My question is that we start working on this change. There are a new crop of politicians. They don't want to use goons, but there's the old ones who are still their competitors that are still using these goons. How do the new protect themselves from goons? Because not every goon is going to listen and be like, you know what, I hear what she's saying, and I'm going to not follow this goonism road again. Some are still going to be in it because some are even godfathers in their goonism.
Of course they are. We know of politicians who are that. My take would be that we start small. So long as we're on our way to change, that's what matters. We can't just change it all of a sudden. But one thing I love about Kenya, and especially the younger demographic, is their willingness to do something. When they put their mind to something, it will happen and it will change. So I'm just hoping that, because they are the very perpetrators, they're the ones who are being used and taken advantage of because of their lack of employment. The day they wake up and decide, we don't want this. This is not what we want. Instead of being a goon, you can actually be in office doing something constructive that can actually bring change. That change that you're trying to make on ground by disrupting those events, by hurting those politicians, by hurting those people who you know. You can bring about the same change, but positively working. I'm telling you, these people are educated, they are learned, they are graduates. Why this is happening, we can only pray that it changes. But again, we start small. We can't change everything at once. It starts small, bit by bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.